Greenleaf Projects, which is my contracting and development company, has been going for about 15 years, and we specialize in eco-friendly buildings and high quality finishes. I first got into it about 20 years ago when I have a design background, and I've always been interested in buildings, and decided that I would go back to school. So I went off to the Bartlett College of Architecture, part of UCL, and did a retraining course, and then started building and developing houses. The site is actually a very constrained one. There are houses and gardens on all three sides, all four sides in fact. On three sides, the edges of the houses that we're building are literally within 10 centimetres of the garden walls. So the logistics of the site are extremely challenging. The amount of space left after the footprint of the houses has been laid out is extremely small. So the challenge is how to get quite a considerable amount of building materials all up in the right order without completely clogging up the works. But it's a logistical challenge, and there's all the more fun for it. There originally were garages here, and when they were demolished there was a little bit of contamination, so we had to dig down and decontaminate the soil, and we've done some various remediation works. So yeah, all in all, it's a very tight site, but it's a good challenge. But as you can see, we're halfway through the SIP panels. The SIP panels are structural insulated panels, and they're constructed off-site to a very detailed design. And the idea is that they arrive on-site and are slotted together quickly and easily, without all the hassle of using cement and mortar and the wet trades which traditionally building has required. We're halfway through, and the remaining 2 stories of the 2 centre houses will be going up in the next few days. So the whole thing takes should take about 3 weeks from start to finish to actually get the houses delivered and the frame put up. So after that, we got to do all the internal works, and plumbing and electricity, electrics, and all the internal finishes. Okay, so this is an offcut from one of the structural insulated panels, SIPs for short, and the way it works is that there's an internal core of insulation, and either side of it is a sandwich of what's called OSB board, orientated strand board, and this is structural grade. So by the time that's sandwiched with the insulation in between it and put up vertically like that, so that'll be the outside and that'll be the inside, that is as strong as bricks and mortar, and obviously the insulation is already installed, so instead of having about 3 or 4 different processes to put your bricks, put in your insulation, and then put the outside skin, there it is all in one. And what happens is that on the outside here there will be some board, and then outside that we will put bricks just to make it look nice, and on the inside here we'll put plasterboard and then paint it, and that's it, done. These are internal partitions, and they're all, you can see, they're all numbered, and down here there's a number so that the guys get their plans, find out where this particular section goes, slot it into place, and then fix it with special guns with very long and extremely tough nails, so the whole thing is held together, and it's like a giant Meccano set. It's different in that it's going to have high levels of insulation, it's going to have underfloor heating, it's going to have sedum roof, so a lot of eco-friendly features there. It's also a Muse style development, so it's got a gated courtyard for cars to park. We're going to have electric charging points, so people can have electric cars here, so one for each house. So the sustainable credentials are pretty good, and internally we got some really interesting. The two single-story units have got internal courtyards which are glazed on three sides. So that's an interesting architectural feature, and for the two-storey units, the upstairs will have nice vaulted roofs, so it's going to have a feeling of space and light and airy feeling when you're up there. So I think it's just a really interesting and a good design. We're targeting the end of September to finish the actual build. So I think we'll probably put them on the market a few weeks before that, probably beginning of September. If we can find anybody to buy the units off plan before we actually launch them, then obviously we would take that option with speed and alacrity. But I think the reality is, for a development of this size, there's only 4 houses. It's likely that it will go on the market probably the beginning of September, and we would hope to have the whole thing sold by the end of November, certainly before Christmas. To me, the most interesting development in construction as a whole is off-site construction. So you have the ability to do the sort of the groundworks and all the foundations whilst the frame of the building is being constructed off-site. It's a lot cleaner, it's a lot more accurate, it's a lot easier in logistical terms, and it's a lot faster. You also get better levels of insulation, you get better quality all the way around. The extreme of that is, you've probably heard of Huff houses from Germany, which arrive literally with all the plumbing and the electrics all in place. We don't quite go that far. I think the main problem, there are always problems with any development, but the main problem with this development was at the beginning, when we had to do a lot of preparation work before actually demolishing the existing building. If we had actually demolished the buildings and done a lot more exploratory work at the start, we wouldn't have had quite so many delays at the beginning. So we would arguably have timing would have been a bit better. But other than that, so far, I wouldn't do anything different. The project as a whole is an extremely interesting one. The construction is very eco-friendly. We have high levels in insulation. We're going to have sedum roofs on 2 of the units. And the design is pretty good, actually. We're using a lot of innovative techniques to build it, but the end result is going to look very smart. So it's a really interesting project to work on, and I'm hoping that it'll actually look and feel extremely nice at the end of it. I think this particular development in this particular area is, well, we think it's a winner because the area, Shepherd's Bush, is it's full of media types, and there are a lot of people moving in, and it's quite an affluent area. It's moved up in the world, even though the BBC has departed. The actual profile of the residents is definitely quite affluent. So my feeling is that from an investment point of view, it'll sell quite quickly, and because it's got a gated entrance, so it's secure for foreign buyers. If they want to leave their car whilst they're abroad, it's going to be safe. So I think probably it's a pretty sound proposition for actually getting a good return.